Hey guys, what do you get when you give a Chad a persona? What? A Chadsona!
Now that's comedy.
Well, what a surprise! I'm making a video on Persona 4! I bet you didn't see that coming at all. I guess this game hardly needs an introduction, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Released on the PlayStation 2 way back in the day, then remade on the Vita with the version that everyone knows about, Persona 4 Golden. Not me, however, because even though my first interaction with the franchise was Persona 4, I couldn't afford a Vita, so I watched the anime instead. But here I am, years later, having bought an expensive Vita capture card to make a video on this 10-year-old game.
How rude!
Well, let's dive right on into Persona 4. Why is it so yellow? My eyes! And we first meet the main character of the game, the Fog. No, I'm not joking. Where we see a limo emerge from it and meet the man with the big nose. Oh wait, we don't seem to call him that anymore. But you know what hasn't changed? Our name. It's your boy, Zace Ram. And I often wonder, after the edgy Persona 3, how will this game start out? Oh no! So meet Chad Yu, who is moving to a country town and will be living with fake daddy and small girl. She's, interesting.
Every day's great at your tunas.
And as with all Persona games, we go to bed. But oh no, we are back in the fog, running down a path and fighting this shadow. Oh, okay. Anyway, we go to school on our first day and see... Well, glad to know the descriptions of the students are still pretty amusing. We then go into our class and introduce ourselves in the chaddest way possible.
That's it. You're on my shit list.
After sitting down next to Bob Cut, we suddenly hear the most ominous announcement ever. Attention, chicken tenders are no longer sold in the cafeteria anymore. Whoops, wrong sound file.
There has been an incident inside the school district. Police officers have been dispatched around the school zone.
I gotta at least hand it to the Persona games. They really do know how to start off with a bang.
You know I sit next to you, right?
Dude. So we meet the main characters, Green Girl, Red Girl, and a bleak-looking student.
I think mine's cracked too.
After that, we walk home with Red and Green, when all of a sudden, the announcement earlier makes a whole lot of sense. So it seems like some woman who was having a celebrity affair was brutally murdered. And well, since our fake daddy is a detective, he tells us to scram.
The next day.
Well, I'm happy they updated his title.
Yeah, well.
Guess he's the best friend boy that all these games create. We learn that he works at the June's department store and seems to be attracted to another girl working there.
Oh, senpai? Huh?
And Green Girl tells us about this urban legend, where if you watch the TV at midnight on a rainy day, something scary might happen. Now, since peer pressure is very real, we go and do that. Although Chad Yu seems to have taken it a bit too far.
Jeez.
Well, anyway, it's back to school. Yes, school. And we discuss the findings on the TV and all discover that we saw the same person. Green Girl doesn't seem too happy though.
Was too small. That's pretty realistic. Well, if it had been bigger, then...
Oh yeah?
We then go shopping to find Green Girl a TV. And we go touching things we ain't supposed to. Now, normally you would pull your hand out, but Chad Yu here...
What the? Are you gonna pee your pants?
Oh yeah?
What? Boo!
The three then find themselves trapped in a TV world, full of mysterious and strange things, and some Persona 5. They wander into a room which oddly has posters of the person that was killed recently, and this is all too much for Yosuke.
You're going here?
Oh yeah?
On the way back, we meet this thing. He gets mad that we are in his home and kicks us out through some TVs. Anyway, after all those strange things, we go on home to our dysfunctional family.
Are you sick?
Well, at least he cares. Now we go back to school where there's a special announcement.
Has passed away.
It seems that the girl Yosuke liked was the first one to find the body from earlier, and now has also been murdered. Can I just say how good this opening is at setting the tone of the game? Only an hour in and you got Chads, waifus, husbandos, weird talking bears, and a murder mystery story. Yosuke decides to go back into the TV world to interrogate the teddy. They land in the world and decide to find out once and for all who Teddy actually is.
Whoa! How rude!
We then agree to help Teddy find out who the real murderer is, as they have been messing up his home by throwing the victims in where they die in the real world shortly afterwards, through some persuasion. He gives us these glasses to help us view this TV world, and I guess, well, shadowy places like this contain shadows. But we draw on the power of main characteritis.
So...
and summon our persona to defeat him. These are the manifestations of a person's heart, although with a little twist in this game. As we go inside,
I'm seeing double here.
Yosuke's.
So in this world, a person's darkest desires appear as their other self, and to not fall into despair, they have to confront them. By which I mean we do all the work and then the character can get a persona and join our team. And Teddy, well, he becomes a navigator.
Go Sensei!
That's how it's done!
Go Sensei! You knocked
moves,
it down!
partner.
Go Sensei! You knocked...
We then exit the TV world to find the green girl happy to see us back. So once again we check out the TV at midnight to find out that the red girl is now stuck in the other world, meaning we gotta go and quickly save her. Wait, let me first shake this dude's hand. God damn it, this always happens to me. So we rush on back to the TV store.
Oh, come on, don't cry.
Maybe Chad Yu isn't all he seems to be. Anyway, I think we better arm ourselves first before we head in again.
Take a look at these. Kinda like this?
2 suspicious young males found, one armed with multiple weapons, requesting immediate backup. You're under arrest!
No, wait, it's just a misunderstanding.
Hold on.
Yay, fake daddy comes in and saves the day. So anyway, we go to an actual weapons store to discuss the plans of killing demons while the dude just stands there listening. Don't worry about me, happens all the time. When all of a sudden, the blue door appears out of nowhere. Well, at least he's surprised, unlike the Persona 3 dude. Anyway, we are finally ready to go back to the other world.
Wow, there's a girl with a better nose than me?
And so we go into the castle where the red girl is being held hostage by her other self. However, we instead find Chie's shadow and have to take it down to finally get her on our team. And this is where we get into the dungeon crawling and battling. So unlike Persona 3, every boss has their own dungeon, i.e. no similar looking floors. The camera is more closer and each floor is themed after the shadow you are facing. So Princess Yukiko equals castle. I will say even with this change, I really didn't like how finicky the X button was. As you can see here, with me having a hard time opening a chest and a door. So as usual, you find enemies in the overworld, and attacking them gives you an advantage in battle. Now here the monsters actually look different from each other, with a bigger size meaning more powerful related to your level, and this big glowing boy. But anyway, once in a battle, it's the same as before. Attack normally, or choose a special attack that uses SP points. However, once the SP points run out, you gotta use items or exit the dungeon and refill in the real world. And you will want to use these SP attacks, since you can do some type advantage moves to knock down the enemies. And if they are all knocked down, you can do an all-out attack. I will say I kinda found this game a bit harder than the previous one. Maybe I just suck. Now as before, you get shuffle times randomly after battles. What's different here, however, is that although you can still get personas to add to your team, there are no bonus cards like before. Instead, there are these blank cards which do nothing, or penalty cards which do things like no XP, money, or items after a battle. And holy moly, did I dislike this so much after Persona 3. I mean, sure, I get that you gotta punish players to not always get something, but punishment as well as blank cards? It honestly just should have been one or the other. So you then pick up personas in battle to go to Margaret in the velvet car to then fuse to make more powerful ones. Now the whole point of the dungeon, as instead of the full moon in Persona 3, you have to defeat the place before the fog sets in. So this becomes your time limit that you must manage in game, which means that the other half of the time, you're having fun at school. No, not again. Oh, did I say fun? I meant get completely lost once again. But hey, at least they have a person here to give you hints on where stuff is, even though it never really helped. So at school you get to join clubs like the soccer or drama club. By doing this you meet people who become social links, and leveling them up improves the personas in dungeons. But anyway, apart from school you get a huge town to explore instead of the few areas in Persona 3. They still have places like shops and so on, but there are plenty of other things to do, like getting a job. Well, hey, I mean, work is work, I guess. Or wandering into a shrine and seeing a superhero fox on the roof. Admiring your calendars, carry a girl shopping, practice for the World Cup, or get drunk with fake daddy.
Just call me daddy!
Now these are the things you do to level up the social links to get stronger, while you enter the dungeon clearing floors till you reach the boss. So the thing is, the game is very similar to Persona 3, but it makes a whole lot of improvements on pretty much everything.
However,
There are still some things I like about Persona 3 over this one, mostly with the dungeons. I did, however, love this game's overall cast more, and it has my favorite OST out of all the Persona games. But that might be my Persona 4 dancing biases sneaking in. Anyway, back to the bosses. And well, here she is, Miss Princess, who has finally found her 3 princes.
3 princes? Wait, does that include me too?
Duh.
And so we free Yukiko from her bird, fire, shadow, thingo. Yeah. And she gains a persona to join our team. You now have a group of 5.
How rude.
To then work together to take down the serial killer. But first, it's food time.
Hey, could I try just a little bit of that? Just one tiny bite?
Oh, hands off the soba, pal. Go get your own if you want some. Okay, but just one bite.
Do you want to try some?
Yes!
Ah! You ate everything!
My fried tofu.
I'll buy you steak. It'll be on me.
Steak?
Oh jeez, what's with all this food talk?
My tofu.
Now I'm so hungry.
Filet mignon.
No, stop, that's it. Video over. See ya.
Trojan, RamZaes, Magnum, Chic.